Have you ever tried to learn a new language, gotten super excited about it, and then just stopped a few weeks later? Yeah, it's a story we all know. But what if the answer wasn't more discipline, but just more fun? Today, we're going to dive into how the very things that make video games so addictive are completely revolutionizing one of the hardest things any of us can try to learn. I mean, we've all been there, right? You download the app, you buy the book, you're all fired up to learn, say, Japanese. And then a few weeks go by, and poof, the motivation is just gone. That language learning rut is a very real thing, and the number of people who drop off is incredibly high. So what gives? What's the real problem here? I mean, really picture this for a second. You're staring at these endless lists of vocabulary words or verb charts, and you can literally feel your brain just checking out. Your eyes start to glaze over. It's a frustration everyone feels, and it's all because of how we've been taught to learn things for, well, forever.
And that's the whole disconnect, isn't it? On one hand, you have traditional study, which, let's be honest, is usually monotonous, totally passive, and you're often doing it all alone. But what we're actually trying to achieve, what really works, is an experience that's engaging, active, and, dare I say it, actually fun. That's where the magic happens.
So, how do we bridge that huge gap? How do we get from monotonous to motivating? Well, the answer comes from a place you might not expect: the world of video games. And that answer has a name: gamification. Now, at its heart, it's a really simple idea. You take all the stuff that makes video games so ridiculously addictive, the points, the challenges, the rewards, and you apply them to something that is definitely not a game, like learning a language. And the whole point is to make it way more engaging.
And the ultimate goal here is just beautiful in its simplicity. It's not about turning education into some kind of silly distraction. No way. It's about using these game mechanics to make learning feel more enjoyable, which in turn helps you remember and understand the material so much better. I mean, when you're actually having fun, things just stick. It's how our brains are wired.
Okay, so what exactly are these game design elements? What's inside this toolkit that can turn a super tedious task into something you actually want to do? Let's pop the hood and break down the key ingredients. All right, here's the starting lineup. You've got points, badges, leaderboards, challenges, and of course, levels. Now, each one of these is carefully designed to press a very specific psychological button in our brains, a trigger that gets us motivated and keeps us coming back. Let's take a closer look at a few of them. First up, points. Come on, who doesn't love watching a score go up? It's that instant feedback our brains absolutely crave. You do something right, you immediately get a reward. So simple, but man, it is incredibly effective for building momentum. Then you've got badges, and these are so much more than just little digital stickers. They're like trophies for your brain, tangible proof of your accomplishments. They tap right into our natural desire to collect things and, show off a little bit. And for anyone with even a tiny competitive streak, which is pretty much all of us, you have leaderboards. This is pure human psychology at work. We have this deep-seated need to see how we stack up against other people. It's a huge motivator to keep pushing. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but where do we actually see it working out there in the real world? Well, let's look at a couple of huge examples that I'm willing to bet a lot of you have on your phones right now. Ah, yes, the streak. Does this look familiar? That burning desire deep in your gut not to break the chain, not to let that number go back to zero. This is pure psychological genius. It takes advantage of the fact that our brains hate leaving tasks unfinished. And a streak? Well, that's a task that's never finished, forcing you to come back day after day. And Duolingo is the absolute master of this. Seriously, they use every single tool in the playbook. You've got daily goals for consistency, those famous streaks to build the habit, levels and experience points so you always feel like you're moving forward, and leaderboards to spark some friendly competition. The whole thing is a perfectly crafted motivation machine. Then there's Kahoot, which brings all of this energy right into the classroom. It transforms what used to be a silent, kind of stressful vocabulary quiz into this loud, exciting, high-energy game. The real-time feedback and seeing your name climb that leaderboard gets everyone buzzing and totally engaged. So, it's pretty clear that gamification is a powerful force. But, and this is a big but, it's not a magic bullet. There are some really important challenges to think about, and the future of all this is about to get even more interesting. And this really is the critical question we have to ask. If you get totally hooked on just earning points for the sake of earning points, are you really learning the material? It is a very fine line to walk. And that brings us to the reality check.
The people designing these apps have to strike a really careful balance. They have to make sure the game stuff supports the learning, not distracts from it. They also have to be careful that the competition doesn't get unhealthy and discourage people. And maybe most important of all, they have to make sure these tools are actually accessible to everyone, not just those with the newest phones.
But the future here is, frankly, mind-blowing. Imagine putting on a VR headset and actually practicing how to order a coffee in a virtual cafe in Paris. Or what about having an AI tutor that knows you so well that it builds a learning plan that's 100% unique to you? This is where it's all headed. Learning is going to become more immersive, more personal, and just seamlessly fit into our lives.
So, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? We've seen how these game mechanics can help us crack the code on something as hard as learning a whole new language. So, if we can literally play our way to fluency, what else is possible? What other huge, complex problems could we solve next? Not by working harder, but by playing smarter.